Kate Mila Falcher, welcome to Irish Granny Helen. Welcome to Debbra Lupien, voice of the AKASHIC Records. Hello, Deborah.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm well, thank you. I'm enjoying the background there. Looks familiar.
Yeah. Famous
Where is it?
case about that lavender colored beach, right?
You know, I was in Sligo. I went there, but I didn't know about this story at the time. We went there because I wanted to see um, the house of the girlfriend,
Oh,
the inamorata of Yeats, and I wanted to go to his grave because he's my favorite poet. And he's buried in this little church in Sligo, and it was just beautiful. It's a beautiful place, and it's so calm and quiet, and yeah. So it's. I didn't see it like that with the purple, but that's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Do you by chance know what Sligo means?
No, I have no idea. Let me look it
It's an
up.
odd name.
Well, everything in Irish is odd. I mean, let's be real. They have their own alphabet,
Hmm.
and it just didn't translate well into English. They had no choice. It was the British made them do it. But it doesn't follow the rules of the English language. You can translate it into the lettering, but that doesn't necessarily. Uh, Etymology. Oh, okay. So it comes from a word I can't pronounce, but it translates to a place abounding in shells. It means shelly, like
Oh,
lots of shells
yeah.
on the beach. Yeah. Massive abundance of shellfish in the local river estuary and bay, as well as the ancient shell middens left behind by early humans. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm glad you asked. Okay. So we've got this weird case of Sligo Man, and anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, you can go watch the video that I made about it. It's just an unsolved mystery. And we want to get down to the bottom of it all, right? So this guy, oh, I forgot to write down the name that he went by. He had a fake name. God, I should have looked. Did you happen to know it? You don't
I
happen to
read
know
it
it.
when I read the synopsis, but I don't remember.
Yeah, well, I wrote it and I don't remember, but it was a false name, and they don't know what his real name is or was. He showed up in Sligo. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to look at the transcript, which, telling you the truth, I usually just read transcripts. I usually don't watch the videos. I don't have time. Uh, Hang on a second. I got to get his name. I talk a lot about nothing, don't I? Going through this. Okay. I was giving the background of Sligo, which has a really interesting history. Okay, here we go. Paul Bergman. So he registered under this fake name. They didn't know until after the fact. And he was this guy that looked like, I mean, he looked like an accountant. If you had to stereotype somebody, he was kind of thin, kind of on the frail side, and the kind of person that wears like a button-up cardigan and is unassuming, kind of hangs back. So he got this room, and I guess he gave them a day that he was gonna be gone, move out, and then later asked if he could stay a little bit later in the day. They you have to be out by 11, and he asked if he
Yeah.
could stay till the late afternoon. Okay. So he did this weird thing. He was there for several days. He came in on the bus from Derry, from the north. Um, they call it Londonderry if they're English. You call it Derry if you're Irish. It's the name of it. So he came on the bus, walked over to the hotel, and he had three, I think, bags with him. And one of them was a purple plastic, like a Walmart bag, like that kind of plastic bag. And he came out every morning. He spent a lot of time going in and out to smoke outside. But he really didn't, he was pleasant, but he didn't really reach out to anybody. He didn't initiate any kind of conversation. So every morning he would leave with this bag, this purple plastic bag full of what nobody knows. And he'd be gone for hours. And then he'd come back and the bag would be empty. And they have a lot of CCTV cameras all over the place there because, we're all being spied on all the time. And they never were able to figure out what he did with the stuff that was in the bag. And they actually went through all of the garbage cans everywhere and found nothing. So it's really odd. He was always looking at his watch, like he was under some sort of time constraint, So this happened for a couple of days. It was like over a weekend. Then he took a bus or a taxi, I don't remember, to the beach. He must have got a cab, went to the beach and asked the guy to stay and kind of looked over the beach from above and got back and went back to the hotel. So that was weird. The next morning, he asked, can I, leave some stuff? He went out. He had, I guess this is after the 3 o'clock thing. He had all the bags that he had with him. But one of the bags, he had the same number, but one of the bags was a completely different, like, carry suitcase. So when did he change suitcases? It's just so weird, So he takes the bus to the beach. He's got his stuff with him and is seen on the beach. And he's there for like 9 hours towards the evening and into the night when it's dark. And, people see him walking back and forth, fully clothed, leather shoes, walking back and forth on the beach, which is unusual. I mean, everyone's not in their bikini in Sligo, but usually you're dressed in a casual going to the beach kind of way. And he looked like he was going to his accountant's office, And the last person to see him was a young couple who were after dinner going for a little romantic walk in the dark along the beach. And they crossed paths going up and down the hill to the beach and said hello. And he said hello, and that was it. Well, the next day, a man was paralleling his son who was practicing for triathlon. So his son was swimming along the water and he was walking along the edge of the water on the beach, and he came on a body. And it was Peter Bergman or Paul Bergman, whatever his name was. And he had, he was clothed, but his clothes were on in a bizarre order. Like underwear on the outside, bathing suit inside, clothes, it was just odd, really odd. And so they had the coroner and the police and whatever kind of system that they have, protocol that they have. They did an autopsy. He did not drown. They think he died of a heart, event because he had a heart attack in the past. But they don't know. They just don't know what happened to him.
What year was this?
Oh God, you had to ask me that.
It must be somewhat recent if they had CCTV.
I think it was 2004.
It's not ancient.
No, it's not ancient.
So didn't they do an autopsy to see if he had a heart attack?
Yes, they did an autopsy, yes. But he'd already had a heart attack. So they didn't know, did he have another heart attack or was this too much or, because you can have, your heart can stop and not be a heart attack, it not leave scarring, So, because it happened suddenly. So they started looking into, who are we going to notify? And they found out that all the information he left with them was a lie. Address, name, phone, all of it a lie. All of the tags were cut out of his clothes, and they were able to track the clothes down to Germany or Austria. And he had a bit of an accent. So, was that him? I mean, did he come all the way from Austria or Germany? And there's question, allegedly, about how well the case was handled. This is not a common occurrence in Sligo, and
Yeah.
the Gardaí, the local police, may not have been necessarily up to the task. They claimed that they got in touch with Interpol, and Interpol was going to follow up on it. But Interpol told later investigators that we don't do that kind of thing. We'll look for somebody that we know who it is, but we don't try to figure out who an unidentified person is. That's not what we do. No genetic DNA matches anywhere. Just a dead end. Pardon the pun. So I have some questions for him.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the first question is, where are you from?
Okay. So, Mr. Sligo Man. He doesn't want to talk. I have this big red block in front of me. So, would you be willing to talk with us? We would love to know about you. Could you tell us where you're from? There must be somebody out there who's looking for you.
Well, here's a question. Is he worried that if he talks, even after death, that it will endanger somebody close to him?
Okay. So, the reason you don't want to talk, is it because there's people close to you who might be in danger? Yes. There's a reason he went to such lengths to disguise who he was.
Could he talk about it in a generic sense?
We'll try. So, can you just kind of give us the rough edges? I'm getting like maybe Italy, maybe a mafia related.
Yeah, there's some suspicion that it might have been he knew too much, or he was involved in something they were afraid he was going to talk about. And so let's ask him this. What was in the plastic bags that you kept emptying every day?
So, can you tell us about the plastic bags that you were taking out every day and coming back with whatever it was gone? Yeah, I think he was an accountant for somebody who was connected, and he had collected a lot of material.
I got that
Damning
vibe from
evidence.
him. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
evidence.
like
Did he
damning
give it to
evidence.
somebody? Did he leave it with somebody?
That's a good question. So, what did you do with it? Did you give it to someone? Did you destroy it? He was an informant.
Oh, did he meet with
He,
officials in Sligo?
well, I don't know about officials, but he had a contact person.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
So,
yeah.
was this person from Sligo? No, they met in Sligo. It would have been too dangerous if it had been somebody from Sligo. So somebody, totally unrelated, and they would meet and he would pass off the information. So it's like, it feels like he might have been an accountant, so he had access to sensitive information. And he just got to a point where, somebody made him an offer. We'll help you get out of this life. You help us. So he was cooperating. And that would be a reason why Interpol wouldn't want to get involved. Playing
So was he
cagey.
meeting somebody from Interpol?
Good question. Was the person you were meeting, were they from Interpol? No, they were outside Interpol, but they would have had a contact inside.
Were they from
It just,
Austria or Germany?
the person that you met, were they from Austria or Germany? No.
Italy.
Well, he was from, I don't know if he was from Italy, but he had been living in Italy, living and working. That I'm getting. He was from Italy at that point, but I don't know if he was born there. So this person that you were connecting with, Dutch.
The Hague?
So were they connected with The Hague? No, no. It's like
So
it's
did
spy stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's really weird. Did he go to the beach to meet somebody?
So were you, when you went to the beach, when you took the taxi to the beach, was that to meet somebody? Oh, there was going to be a ship out there. So that's why he stood looking out to see if the ship was there. So was the ship there when you went? No, there was a change of plans. Something happened. Something got screwed up. The whole thing fell apart. It wasn't supposed to go the way that it did. They were going to take him out, off of the
Away from
beach.
the country. Did he
Yeah.
intend, did he kill himself?
Did you kill yourself? No.
No,
Did
he didn't
somebody
he
else?
didn't go down there with the intention of doing that.
No, he wanted to escape. They were going to give him a rescue. That was the deal. You get us the material, we'll get you a new life. So he got
So
something
somebody
stopped that.
showed up that he wasn't
Well, let
expecting?
me ask, did somebody kill you? No, he's saying it was natural causes. So they would have picked him up. That's why he was on the beach all those hours. They had
Waiting
to
to be
wait
picked up.
until the
Yeah.
people were gone,
Yeah.
and then they would pick him up. But he died before they could do that.
Well, why were his clothes so weird? Why were his clothes on wrong?
So obviously you were probably dead when this happened, but do you know why your clothes were put on inside out? That was to cause confusion to the authorities. Because
Who did
remember,
it?
it's a spy. The contact who was going to pick him up off the beach.
Oh, they showed up late and he was
So
already dead.
when they
Okay.
got there, he's dead. And so what can we do so the trail doesn't lead back to us? So they can do this weird thing with his clothes and just, it's a distraction, sleight of hand.
Does he have family still?
So do you have family who are living? He's nothing to speak of, nothing close, maybe, far-fledged relatives, but he was pretty much alone, which is
So there
why it
wouldn't
made
be
him,
anybody looking for him with Interpol or anything like that. No.
no, but that's why he was a good candidate because he didn't have ties.
So interesting. How'd they pick
Yeah.
Sligo?
So how did they choose Sligo as the meeting place? It was the location. It was easy for them to get to quickly. They could get in and out without being seen. So that apparently the way it's built, maybe it allowed a ship to, or a boat to come in and out without being noticed at night.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about, that. Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels like it was quiet. It was kind of a quiet, laid back place where people weren't all up in everybody else's business.
Well,
So it
they
was a
were, but
place,
not like that.
yeah,
And more concerned, did you go to mass on Sunday?
yeah.
So
But think about this. He was there for, was it over a week? I think you said 9 days or something.
no, it was more like 4 days, maybe five. I don't
Oh,
remember. Yeah.
but in all that time, he didn't connect with anybody. They didn't really ask any questions, and that says something about the place. So probably that's part of why they selected it.
But they noticed him. They had
Yeah.
plenty to say after they found his body. Yeah, they noticed him.
Well, they did, but were they making things up? Were they? taking the tail and
No, I don't think
exaggerating?
so. I don't know. I don't think so because what they were doing was giving factual details. Like he came in at this time, he left at this time, he came back with nothing. And they have a lot of CCTV
Mm.
evidence. So they could confirm, they could validate what people were saying. Um, and they speculated a lot about him at the time, even like, what is this guy doing? This is very odd, but they didn't know what to
Yeah,
make of it, you know? Yeah.
he's just adding the purple bag was purposeful because that was they could identify that. They could see that. No, no, most people are not going to be walking around with a purple bag. So it was for him and his contact to recognize that bag.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I don't think I have any other questions because, obviously he's not going to say who he is. Or does it matter at this point? Could he say now who he is?
I'll ask. So, would you like to be identified? Would you share your name with us? No, he's concerned that it could still have some negative repercussions and it could backfire on the people he was working with as well if the name
Mm.
got out.
Was he in
Oh,
finance?
well, he was like the accountant for somebody who was
Okay.
like connected, right?
Okay.
So they're still inside people.
Mm.
And if his name got out, they might connect the dots from him to some of the other people who are still working inside. It feels
Well,
like it's a long game that they're playing, trying to infiltrate this organization and, you know,
too
arrest
bad he
them.
died, huh? Too bad he had a heart
Yeah.
attack. The
Well,
stress.
he's saying not really. He did what he came there to do. He had finished the job. He just didn't get a chance to go start a new life.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said really it didn't matter because he didn't have much of a life. He was like the people described. He was that introvert. He didn't really have a social thing going on. And
Well, he had
what would,
cancer. I forgot to mention this. He was dying. He had cancer.
okay.
So, it is probably inevitable that he would have died within a short period of time.
Yeah.
But
But
it's too
he's
bad.
he's feeling there's a feeling of completion that I get from
Hmm.
him. He did what he came to do, and it's okay.
Well, that's interesting. So it was natural causes, but it was a spy situation, kind of, and
Yeah,
or informant, I guess, informant kind of
yeah.
situation. And there were nefarious characters involved peripherally, but nobody killed anybody. So,
Well, he might have known about murders in the business he was in.
oh yeah, but this particular event,
Yeah, but
yeah,
not him, no.
not him. Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
that's
so
also
interesting.
reassuring because it kind of exonerates the Sligo police. They didn't screw up as badly as we might have thought they had.
Well, they didn't pursue it properly. They kind of let things slide, which is very typical. You find it everywhere in small towns. There's a lot of pecking order going on and egos involved. You could tell that that was a factor because they interviewed. There's a small documentary, and you can get the information on the video that I made. Um, and you really get the vibe. I mean, I got the vibe from these people that they were caught on the wrong foot, that they had not
Yeah.
really done their job, but they were able to, glaze
He
over it.
just he jumped in to say that may have been part of it, but all it took was a call from one influential person to the local, whoever
So
was in charge, to
pressure
say,
was
let it go.
pressure was put on them then, is what he's saying.
Yeah, subtle, not heavy-handed because that would have caused more questions, but
Yeah.
just enough subtle, let
Yeah.
it go. It's okay. Nobody's looking for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I could believe that. I could see that happening.
So we
Corruption at
can,
every level.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we can kind of exonerate the good-hearted Sligo police.
Well, you can. I'm more of a harsh judge. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank him.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad he's at peace.
Yeah. He feels so satisfied with what he did because it wasn't easy. Took a lot of planning.
Will they get the guys? Will they uncover it?
So, do you think they will ever catch these guys that you were investigating? Some of them, not all of them. It's big and it's constantly changing and morphing. It's one of these organizations that it's like it has a life of its own. It just
Yeah.
continues expanding and
Yeah. I always say, accountability is not a spectator sport, and karma is, what.
yeah,
So, yeah, it'll work out. Well, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you.
Bergman, or whatever your name is. Thanks. That was kind of
Yeah.
quick.
Unexpected.
Yeah, it was a little bit more convoluted than I expected, but in a different direction. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another crime solved and put
Yep.
away. I have another interesting one coming up, so we need to get to work because this is crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Slongafoil. They say
Bye.
that in Sligo. Slongafoil.